Come on, Facebook. What are you doing? Looks like something's happening. Good morning, good morning. Okay. Hi. So we still have the moon in Pisces. I hope you had an interesting new moon experience last night at 12 hours ago at 8 p.m. last night. I did notice in the comments I put something up yesterday about Mercury now being in Aries. Oh, breathe a sigh of relief. What does this mean? All right, well, Mercury gets its confidence back when it is in, well, it's not in Pisces, where it's in detriment. Okay, so it doesn't like being in Pisces, but now that it has moved into Aries, it has a megaphone and it will use it to be heard. All right, so think of Mars related things, especially with Mars in Aquarius. So we now have a bit of a, good morning, Susan. We now have a social justice warrior-esque Mercury now. Good morning, Kathy. So yeah, our words will be heard a lot more. And when the moon moves into Aries at 11:20 a.m. today, good morning, Louise. Hi, Deb. We're going to have that. We're going to have that. Good morning, Karen. We're going to have the moon and Mercury in Aries. All right. So a little bit of confidence. Deb, you're going to be feeling so much better. I know that we have had an experience this weekend. Poor Mickey wasn't feeling great, and I'm not exactly feeling the best right now. Bit of a stiff neck, but I'll get through this. All right, so back to today. All right, now at 9 a.m. we have Mercury now at 0 degrees of Aries sextile sextile Pluto. All right, so here is another of that social justice warrior type vibe. And it's more that, Pluto now in Aquarius is looking to transform the masses, community, much more interested in future potential, looking at how everybody needs assistance as such. So Mercury in Aries is, like I said earlier, is willing to stand up and be heard for the injustices. Mercury in Aries is very strategic, all right? So very a warrior-like. So Aries is much more the footman on the field, and Scorpio, also ruled by Mars, is more the generals in the strategy room. All right, so still very much forward momentum, aggressive, vocal. I'm going to be heard. All right, so when the moon moves into Aries, so if you need to just chill for the morning, good morning, Kath. Then once that 11:20 Aries moon, then all systems are go. Well, not so much all systems are go, but Mercury sextile Pluto, we could be like, oh my God, this needs to be, something needs to be done about this at 9 a.m. Once that 11:20 comes, we might actually have the emotional resilience to do something about it. All right, so then at 1:30 we have the moon sextile Pluto. All right, so where again, think of that moon involved. It's our feelings. All right, so we might be able to just propel ourselves a little bit easier once that 1:30 comes. The moon gets involved, and then at 2:15 the moon is conjunct Mercury. So still very much like the feels are getting you into it. All right, so the time for dreaming is over, sort of. Like I said, after that 11:20, we might just get that extra oomph to get into it. So action can be started, or at least inquiries made. All right, strategic planning with like-minded people will start getting you forward with things. Now, remembering, all right, so the next couple of, well, actually up until May 16th. All right, so Mercury is going to be in Aries up until that May 16th. So Mercury goes retrograde at 15 degrees of Aries when it is on the North Node. All right, so why am I saying this? All right, so we're going to be very impatient with the cognitive stuff that we're doing over the next, what are we now, February, March, April, May, next 2 months, all right, because of that retrograde period. So if you are now starting to plan things, all right, so this is why I was like, think of the strategy that you're putting on the table right now. It's all good for us to be like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But then we get a retrograde period, which is great because when is it a bad thing to do extra research or to investigate further? Because Mercury is going to go retrograde and direct exactly on the North Node. So, at the moment, all of us are pushing ourselves into new directions. All right. So still keep going forward, but keep the impatient factor. Just reel yourself in here with if you start getting disappointed that you're not seeing action or you're not seeing results instantly, because you're not going to, because we're like, oh my God, this is such a great idea, I'm going to go forward. And then you get to that point and you're like, oh, okay, there's all these factors that I hadn't considered. So then we do our retrograde, and then it gets to 26 degrees, then it comes back to 15, back to that north node, and then we're like, okay, now I'm better equipped. And then we go back out again to the 26 degrees. I'm sorry, I don't have dates for you. I just haven't actually. Hang on. What day was it? All right, so Mercury goes into its first shadow period on the 19th. So that is in 8 days. Okay, so that just means that on the 19th, anything that we're thinking about from that point onwards, we will revisit. So in the next 8 days, start to identify and be very logical with the things that you want to redo, if that makes sense. Because from that 19th onwards, it gets up to the retrograde period, which is... Okay, so Mercury goes retrograde on the 2nd of April, I'm sorry. And then from that 2nd of April, we're going to revisit that up to 15 degrees and then move forward again. Okay, so that was very long-winded, but my point is, forge ahead, but just forge ahead knowing that you're going to revisit some things. And again, you can't educate yourself too much. You can't, I mean, you can't educate yourself too much. You can prepare yourself accordingly. All right. There is no such thing as over preparation. All right. Because we want these foundational things that we're working towards to be solid. All right. So that is that's Saturn in Pisces. I was saying with the new moon, it was right at the midpoint between Saturn and Neptune. So we've got this solid planet making you be very responsible and action orientated for the dreams, or this subconscious landscape that you're trying to make real, Neptune. But this is the thing, you need to be working hard. You need to be, draining all of the things that are intangible out of the equation, not so that you get dehydrated, but just so that you've got that solid foundation. All right. We don't want any wishy-washy. We want to know exactly what we're doing. Okay, so at the work, at the bottom, I wrote, like I said, your thoughts will be full of potential. So don't even think I can't, because the fact is that you will. You definitely will. But it's a matter of just don't let go of things because you're not seeing results instantly, all right? When Mercury moves into Taurus on the 16th of May, that's when you may see the tangible results, the grounded results, maybe the financial remuneration or some sort of indication that all of that work that you've been doing is going to give you something. Good morning, Jay. How are you? So that's pretty much it. The water. Oh my God, the water. So next Sunday we have the Sun exactly conjunct Neptune at 10 p.m. on Sunday the 17th. And I know a lot of us are just like, there's just too much water in the air. I don't know what I'm doing. So we are slowly swimming through this. Actually yesterday, in honor of the new moon, I sat outside and gave myself a beautiful foot bath because Pisces rules the feet. I had my feet in water, and it was just a nice, calming experience. So that was my honoring of the new moon. So on next Sunday, I've done a similar type of thing where, if you are struggling with all of the water, then somehow ritualize it. Like we can't avoid what's in the sky, but we can channel it into different directions. I know you hear me talk about the line, so if you are struggling with a certain overabundance of energy, then you, like I said, you can try to channel it some different way. Water. If you're like confused, then meditate or yoga or Pilates or that mind body connection. We're trying to solidify the oh my God, what is going on in my world? So yeah, the unsurety is going to pass soon enough. On the 20th, we have the sun going into Aries. It's gonna be so good. I mean, as a Pisces rising, I just have had enough of dog paddling. So let's pull a card. Let me grab my cards. And then that's it for me. So, and tomorrow, talking about water, Venus moves into Pisces tomorrow. So Venus is going to come out of Aquarius and move into Pisces, where she is exalted. She's going to look like the mermaid queen that she is, and the harshness of her, like I was saying, she's come down out of the boardroom, she's in the community, and the injustices that she's seeing around her that she's quite like about, she's going to become more compassionate and empathetic and actually probably get some good work done. But just adds to the water load that we have. All right, so the card for today is this one. Death and rebirth. There we go. There we go. So, this is a transitory period. The last of these water, we are transforming, guys, So Mercury in Aries, speak up, transform, just go with the flow. These things are, I want to say inevitable, but it's more of a just, it is how it is. So after 11:20, hope you'll be feeling better or a little bit more solid and strengthened to voice your opinion. So that's me, guys. Mwah. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Oh, it's 8-hour day here too. So I hope you have a nice public holiday for those that are actually off today in Tassie.